Welcome back to the podcast, guys. I'm going to jump straight into it today. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. If you get value from this, please like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and send this to a friend that you think will get some value from this and help them out. So, we're going to be going through how to leave and why you must cut off toxic people in your life. People that are holding you back, people that are stopping you from being the best version of you and stopping you from achieving and living your life's mission, your life's purpose. So we're going to be going through why, and we're going to also go through how as well. So first thing, you've probably heard the saying or something along the lines of you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around, and that is absolutely true. There's absolute truth in that. But I want to go through why that is. And then I want to also go through, like I said, how can you do it? How can you actually sever ties with people? Because I understand, I've been there before. I've gone through this transition period myself. It can be hard because they could be obviously friends that you've been friends with for a very long time. They could be family members. It could be your partner. And it can be really difficult to make those decisions, especially when you're not aware of the reasons behind it. That's why we're going to start with why. But I will give you a really strategic way of how to have that conversation, and then how to then move on to, I guess, your next herd of people that you're going to have around in your life. So I'm going to start with what I just mentioned then. We as humans are herd animals, herd mammals. Like in the wild, back millions of years ago, when we were cavemen and women, living our life, doing our thing, is we would live together as in a herd, or we'd live together as a pack animals. Now, picture Stripey the zebra in the wild. Stripey, he's a part of a herd. He's living life. He's doing his thing. And then what would happen to Stripey if he or she was to get left out or abandoned or left the herd? What would the chances of Stripey's survival be like? Would it be high chances of survival or low chances of survival? It's very, very low, because it's safety in numbers, safety in the pack. There's safety and security when you're in a pack of people. And that's who we are from an evolutionary standpoint. That's who we are habitually, deep down. So that wiring is still within us to stay in a herd. However, if that herd is not serving you to the level that you want to, based on your goals, your needs, your wants, your vision, your purpose, where you want your life to get to, then unfortunately that herd is going to keep you at the level that the herd's level is at, the average of that group. So like, for example, say Stripey starts to demonstrate things that aren't natural or aren't okay or aren't tolerated or normal behavior in that herd. What would happen is the rest of the herd would give Stripey a correction. They would give him warning shots. You'd give them like, hey, look, that's not what we do around here. Stop doing that. Otherwise you can't stay a part of us. So you've kind of got 2 decisions. You need to stop doing that, or you need to leave. And that's what happens with us as humans. So say you're in a group of friends right now. You've got people in your life that are not serving you. They're holding you back. Their toxic beliefs, their toxic behaviors, just who they are, they're holding you back. If you are going along with that because obviously you want to fit and stay a part of the herd, so you're going along with that because you've maybe got a fear of being alone, fear of abandonment, fear of people pleasing, something like that, and then you start to do things that aren't normal for the group. You might start setting goals. You might say, hey, look, I don't want to go out tonight partying with you guys. I'm going to stay home and work on a little side business, or I'm going to start reading a book, or I'm going to this seminar, I'm going to this course, or I'm wanting to better myself. Because that behavior is not normal, a part of the group or the herd or the pack, then they will start to correct you. They'll say, what the fuck are you doing staying at home doing that shit? Don't, lol, who do you think you are? You're not going to achieve any of that stuff. Put that shit away. Come out and party with us. Come have fun. Or whatever it looks like. You've experienced it in your own way. For me personally, when I went through this, it's like my friends were partying. They were living the dream. They were having fun. And I obviously participated in that to a degree. But when I started to, I guess, get clear on where I wanted to go, the people that I wanted to help, the life that I wanted to create, then I started to get into personal development. I started to read books. I started to go to seminars. I started to ask myself quality questions. And they started to give me corrections like, why are you working so hard? When are you coming out more? Like, where you been? We're missing you. Stop doing that shit. Come hang out with us more. And those were their ways of correcting me to the behaviors of what's normally tolerated in that herd. And the reality of the situation is you need to decide what's more important? Pleasing that group of people, that herd or that pack of people who are just going to stay in their own ways because that's all they know. And most people, I guess fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, most people aren't wanting to grow. Most people aren't wanting to work on themselves. They're not wanting to change their groups, change their actions, change their beliefs. They're really comfortable. Human beings naturally are very lazy. We're kind of path of least resistance. So we're always looking for the easy option. So it's harder to change. It's harder to work on yourself. It's harder to work on your limiting beliefs. It's harder to heal through your traumas. It's harder to do those things. So most people don't. Most people stay comfortable. They distract themselves with alcohol, with partying, with chasing girls or boys, to social media, to video games, to movies, to binge watching Netflix. They distract themselves from putting in work on themselves because that's painful to do that. It's easier to distract yourself. So you need to decide for you what's more important, the distraction short term or what you want to create and the life that you want to live long term. And that's a really honest question, because if you're not genuinely prepared to put in the work, the hours and the effort of working on you, healing, developing, learning, putting in the action, failing, if you're not prepared to do that, then whatever you try to do won't last, because you'll always default back to the herd. You'll default back to your old behaviors. I've got a friend in particular. I'll leave this male or female private for this call, but he or she came down, and I'm still on my journey. I was on my journey, and this person came down, and this person was like, "Look, I'm hanging around these people. They're selling drugs, they're partying, and they're keeping up with the Joneses. They're buying all these flashy things, and when they can't really afford it. And honestly, I wanna work on myself. I can see the work that you're doing, and I'm proud of you, and I wanna come along with it." And I was giving this person help. I was giving this person a little mentorship. I was giving him resources. I was giving him opportunities to do that. But unfortunately, because of his or her mental state or beliefs around people pleasing or fear of being segregated from the herd, this person went back to their old ways. They went back to the party, and they were actually selling drugs themselves. And it was really, it's sad because I'm still in contact with that said person, but it's sad to see because I know that person deep down has a great heart and wants to do well, wants to provide for their family long term. But because that person could not get over the fear of being away from those friends or doing things differently or working on themselves because they're going to be shunned or they're going to be criticized or they're going to be judged, is that person went back to their old ways, and they could never cross the bridge or bridge that gap of committing to their own growth. So the reason I'm sharing that story is because I want you guys to make that decision, because no one else can make it but you. There's no motivational video on the planet that can do that for you. You need to decide that you're going to do whatever the fuck it takes to live the life that you deserve. But you need to put in the work. You need to be consistent. You need to learn. You need to go to events. You need to go to courses. You need to read books. You need to work on your insecurities. You need to share your emotion. There's so many things, whatever it is for you, obviously on your journey, that you need to work on or that you want to work on. But just be aware that the upside is well worth the downside. And I put my hand on my heart. I'm so much happier. I don't care what people think about me. I don't judge myself as hard as I used to. I still do sometimes, but I just have a flow life. There's less friction. There's less tension in my life because I've been on a journey. I'm still on my journey. I guess we all are, is to really just become the best version of me. So I really encourage you to do that. So that's why we, I guess, naturally default back to staying a part of the herd, because it's comfortable. We're mammals. That's how we evolve. Safety impacts. So the reason why, again, it's so important to separate yourself or be around other people, better people, is that you guys will pick up on each other's beliefs. The beliefs are the things that you say that you're not conscious of. And I guess because of my upbringing and my profession now of what I do with coaching people and helping people, is I'm really hyper aware of people's language. It's like when people say things like, "Oh, I can't do that. I'm not good enough," or "I'm too scared. I'm too ugly. I'm too slow. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. I'm too anxious to do that. I'm not smart enough to do that." Whatever the words are, those are obviously signs of really deep embedded beliefs. But the thing is, and this is the part that you got to be aware of, is that you pick up on those people's beliefs. Even if you love them, even if their intent is fucking pure, that you will pick up on their beliefs. There's a great story that Tony Robbins uses. If a friend of yours, the other way around, if an enemy of yours put some sugar in your coffee, what would you have? You'd have sweet coffee. That would be it. What if a friend by accident put strychnine in your coffee? What would happen? You'd die. And the same thing is about their beliefs. Even though they might not be intentionally giving you negative beliefs, all they are, they're being them. And if they've got their own beliefs that they're not working on, then they're going to be giving that off to you, and you're going to be downloading it. You're going to be absorbing that you're not good enough, that success is hard, that money is evil, that being healthy is hard and difficult to do, that going out and partying and drinking and doing drugs is fun and the cool thing to do, and you need to buy flashy things to impress people online because you need to look good and you need to perceive yourself as being good. Whatever the beliefs are, I'm just trying to rattle off ones that I find very common in people. But even if their intent is pure, even if they're the nicest fucking people ever, even if they've been your best friend since primary school, even if they've been there with you through the thick and thin, if they aren't working on their growth, you can obviously grow together with people, but if they're not prepared and they're not on their journey to grow, then they will they will be like an anchor and you're trying to swim upstream. It's not going to work. They're going to hold you back and drag you down to their level, even if their intention is pure. And that's the reality, that even though they could be the nicest, friendliest, caringest, lovingest people, if their beliefs aren't there, if they're not working on their beliefs and their growth and their development, then you're going to stay on their level. Another good example is my family. I love my family. They are the fucking best people, best humans on the planet, and I love them dearly. The challenge is with them is a lot of them, they're starting to now. I'm starting to, I guess, plant some seeds and start to get them to do that. But I started my journey 6 years ago in personal development, and they're only just starting to do theirs. And I've always been there. Whenever they called me, I remember the time my mum called me. Her mother was dying overseas, and she was in tears. She was very emotional. I cancelled all my meetings for that day. I drove straight down to see her, and I was there for her. But the reason I'm sharing that is they love me and they care about me more than anything. Their intention is pure, but because they weren't working on their own shit, their own beliefs, their own insecurities, their own personal growth, is unintentionally, they are pouring strychnine into my coffee. They are giving me negative beliefs that are going to keep me trapped. So the key is, even if their intention is pure, even if they fucking love you and care about you, if they're not growing as well, they're holding you back. So you've got to make that decision to cut them off or limit your time. Obviously, there is a difference between just fully cutting off toxic people versus limiting your time with people who aren't growing but love and care about you. You need to limit that, because you are the average of the people that you hang around. And that, yeah, I could go on all day about it, but I hope that made sense. So what I want to share, how would you have a conversation to cut off toxic people? This is what I believe. I believe the best sales pitch on the planet is honesty. Being absolutely transparent, honest. This is how I would have it. I'd say, hey, Sarah, or hey, mum, hey, dad, hey, friend, hey, girlfriend, hey, Charlie from childhood. I want to be really honest and transparent with you for a moment. I'm right now working on myself, and I've just started my own development and growth and personal growth journey. And I'm really committed to being the best version of me. And I know that sounds corny and you might find that funny, but it's the absolute truth. I'm committed to living a life that I fucking dream of, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. And I'm just going to be really honest with you right now, and I hope you don't take this personally, but right now, because you're not working on your personal growth, it's actually holding me back. So I've made a decision that if you don't decide to go on this journey with me, which is totally fine, do whatever it is that you want to do. But if you don't decide to work on yourself at the same time and grow together, then I am going to be limiting my time with you, if not cutting you off completely. Why? Because my future means more to me than the things that we've been doing. Yes, we've been through so many things together, and I love and appreciate and I cherish everything we've been through together. However, my future, my family, my career, my business, my impact, my freedom means more to me than the beliefs and what it is that we go through right now. So I'd love to hear, what would you like to do? And throw it over to them. Tell them, be honest, say, look, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, and this is what I want to do with you, and give them that invitation to work on them. Just from experience, I don't have any numbers on this, but majority of people will not decide to go with you. Because again, Go back to the herd. It's uncomfortable. It's habitual. It's deeply ingrained in our minds about staying comfortable, staying with the herd. People don't like uncertainty. They don't like change. They don't like growth. It's painful. So majority of people will not follow you on your journey. That's fine. That means then you've got the opportunity to find more like-minded people that are on their journey as well. Which takes me to my next point. How do you attract and find other incredible people that are working on themselves and are a great fit for your circle of influence? What I would personally suggest, standard social media, fucking message people. The thing is, high quality people are looking for other high quality people. And even if you're on your journey, say you're 10% on your way there and there's someone who's 80% of the way there, they might not necessarily catch up with you, hang out with you, but they might be running an event that you could go attend. They might have some book recommendations for you. They might have some resources that they could send through to you, maybe a YouTube video or a book or a documentary or something to get your mind thinking. So what I personally suggest is find the top 20 people that you are inspired by, you're motivated by, you look up to. Send them a message. And even some of these people have millions of followers. They might not even see your message. That's cool. Send them a message and just reach out to them. Say, hey, look, I'm currently on my journey of personal development. I'm looking to network and connect with high quality people. I was just curious if you have any recommendations for someone starting off, and take it from there. And then maybe if they're, depending on what level they're up to and their level of commitment and schedule, maybe they're free for a coffee. Maybe they're free for a conversation or a phone call. But obviously keep in mind, people that value their time, who have put in a lot of work on their own development, they're probably going to charge for their time. I charge. I've got a friend that I work with, still a very good close friend, and we were just going back and forth on messages, and she was just asking me for some help on some things. And I sent a couple of voice messages just because I had the time. Sent a voice message to help out, and then this person said, "Hey, look, do you mind if we catch up for 30 minutes and go through this together?" And I said, "Look, I'm happy to help. I'm here for you. If you need anything, just send me a message, and I'll get back to you when I can. However, if we are going to go to that extent, I'm going to invest my time and energy and effort into this, then I'm going to have to charge for my time." Why? Because I value my time. And if I don't put a price tag on it, a value on it, then I won't value it in other areas as well, and I'll let other people take up my time. So just be aware that you might have to pay for people's time. It might be an event, a course, a program, obviously one-on-one coaching if that's something you're into, but just be aware that that is a reality, okay? Meetups are phenomenal, so meetup.com is amazing. There's heaps of little events. What I'm really loving about the world that we live in is the consciousness and the growth is really developing really well. Like, it's becoming cooler, hipper, more people are doing it, and I'm really enjoying seeing that across the world, I guess. And just going down to things like me and my partner, we went down to a little event in Burleigh on the weekend. It's called Cool to Be Conscious. Really cool. We did a breath work, meditation, visualization, great to network, and it was $8. So $8. You got to get there at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. And it was phenomenal. There's an event, like I just signed up to another event yesterday, $97. A $97 half-day event, some great speakers going there. And there's going to be other people that are there, because people obviously that going to those events are into their own self-development, because they're spending their time, they're spending their money, and they're actually at that event. So events are phenomenal. Social meetups are phenomenal. Social media is phenomenal. I guess the key is start to be conscious of it. Once you put a value on something, it starts to show up in your world. You start to attract it. You start to manifest it. So be conscious of it. When you bump into someone and you like their energy, you like the way they present, you like the way that they speak, their communication, their manners, their respect, like say, hey, look, like here's a little example. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Everyone comes into your world and out of your world for a reason. And I was taking a session at one of the gyms, I think it was last week or the week before, and this girl came down for a trial for her first class, and she came 30 minutes late. Oh no, 20 minutes late. So she missed like half the class. And I said, hey, look, don't stress. Jump in, let's do the class. Once the class is over, we'll continue for another 20 minutes to make up for it. This is a trial. She lived in Brisbane, so she lived away from where I'm from on the Gold Coast. So she wasn't going to join. There wasn't going to be any money made from that. There was no chance of a sale on this, but I said, you've come down to support this place. Check it out. I want to give you an incredible experience. So she did the session. We then continued afterwards for an extra 20 minutes. Caught up with her. She was literally moving to Canberra like the next day, so I was probably never going to see this person again. But I said, hey, look, we've met each other for a reason. We've come into each other's presence for a reason. I'm actually running a workshop tomorrow. I was running a mindset workshop the next day. I said, scan that QR code and I would love for you to be on that workshop. She said, that would be awesome. I'd love that. She'd do it. She scanned it. She jumped on the workshop, really got a lot of value out of it. Still, again, no connection, no client from that point, but I know I added value from her in that moment, from that decision. I know that's going to come back in the future. And the reason I'm sharing that is be conscious of who comes into your world. Are those people that you want to connect with, people you want to do business with, people that you want to bring into your circle of influence, people that you want to stay connected with, people that you can have high-level quality conversations with. And something that is a little tip that I'm still working on, because this is, if anyone that knows my upbringing, being a very socially awkward person, being challenged, it was very challenging for me to hold friendships, is once you've got a good idea of the people that you want to keep in your world, put in effort. Reach out to them, send them messages, like stay in contact, like put in the fucking effort. Like just like anything, like a relationship or a business or a physique, it takes continuous work. So once you've started to attract and connect with these amazing people, put in some effort, whether it's a weekly thing or a monthly thing or a fortnightly thing, whatever it is, just put in the effort, okay? Because those people, they're on their growth, they're on their journey, they can be busy too. So put in the effort, send them a message, send them a voice message, send them a fucking letter, send them a gift, catch up with them, take them out to lunch, like just put in effort. But I hope this helped, guys. If you got any value from it, please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with one person. That's my challenge to you. Send this to one person if you got value from it and just say, hey, look, Sally, John, Bob, I just watched this. I really enjoyed it. I thought you get some value from it. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Leave a review if you haven't left a review. I appreciate you all. Have an epic day or morning or night, whatever time it is that you're listening to this. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.